out of retirement, going to play with Tom Brady at Tampa Bay.
You know, when you start years and years of accumulated reps together, it just gets better and better every year.
Fires down the middle, touchdown Gronkowski.
He's an unstoppable rebel force.
Gronk and Tom Brady made the Patriots into who they are.
Rob Gronkowski was only willing to come out of retirement to play in Tampa with Tom Brady.
Tampa Bay is all in.
Oh, Gronk is back, y'all. He's going to be spiking all over Tampa Bay, joining his boy Tom Brady. New England gets a 4th-round pick while sending a 7th-round pick with Gronk to Tampa. Always good to see our quarterback, our friend Dan Orlovsky, with us here now. Max, you're up first. Is this duo more likely to exceed or fall short of expectations?
Of course, fall short of expectations. Look at the expectations. That's where you have to start. You peg them where they are. A lot of people are now predicting that they're going to win the Super Bowl or at least get there. We heard, who was it, Coach come on and say, Rex Ryan come on and say earlier that they match up favorably with the 49ers. We just heard Chad Ochocinco come on and talk about, Chad Johnson's on our show talking about how he'll bet the house as long as he doesn't bet that robe. That would be a disaster. That they're going to get to the Super Bowl. So if the expectations are Super Bowl, and we heard Chad say, hey, it was going to be them or the Chargers, but Bucs have a better defense. So they have a defense. They have a better offensive line than actually giving credit for. They devoted a lot of resources to it, or significant resources to it in recent years. You know, they have an issue at right tackle. They'll fix that in the draft most likely. They have an embarrassment of riches on the offensive side of the ball. Like, they're probably going to have to get rid of a really good tight end. How many tight ends could you play? Although Lamar Jackson, as Dan points out, had 3 tight ends said, I guess you could do all kinds of things now. 2 all-world receivers. I mean, Lord. And then there are elite running backs you could draft in this upcoming draft. So people are talking and thinking Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. And they're only going to get older. On top of all that, Brady and Gronk are really familiar with each other. Another thing people are belaboring right now, the point they're belaboring, they're familiar with each other. Gronk is his safety blanket. So as he's getting used to a new system, new players who are all world, he also has his old reliable safety blanket there, who can also block like crazy. I mean, so the expectations couldn't be higher at this point. I think this is their best year to get it done. I don't think they're going to get it done this year. And every year after this one, the odds that they're actually going to do it get lower because they get older, Brady and Gronk. And Brady, at his age, every year, as we've seen in recent years, there's a precipitous drop. So I believe they will fall short of expectations.
Well, first of all, I don't believe they will fall short of expectations. And I think the fact that you're even discussing the fact that they do have expectations should omit you from this conversation or eliminate you from this conversation, Mr. Cliff. According to you, Tom Brady was done years ago. I wonder why people are talking about expectations right now.
Ravine.
I wonder why people are talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as potential Super Bowl champions. I wonder why. I mean, it's O.J. Howard, it's Cameron Brate, it's Chris Godwin, it's Mike Evans again, and now we've added Rob Gronkowski. But none of that means anything, Max Kellerman, if indeed we're talking about a quarterback who's over the hill. Oh, so what are we talking about here, Dan Orlovsky? Is it possible that we're recognizing the fact that suddenly, Tom Brady didn't have any weapons available to him last season? That at 42 years of age, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots asked him to go out there and act like he was 20 years younger without the weapons when he was 20 years younger. Is it possible
exceed expectations?
that now that he has weapons, that was the reason why? I said that I believe he's going to exceed expectations. You know why, Max? Because all I got to do is point to your expectations. Tom Brady was done. Tom Brady's over the hill. It's not a cliff now, it's a ravine. But nevertheless, if I'm looking at your expectations, Max Kellerman, Tom Brady can win 9 games, throw for 2,000 yards. And according to you, that would be exceeding expectations because you had no expectations for him because he was over a cliff, which ultimately became a ravine. He's over the hill. He's done. He needs to go. But now he's a Super Bowl contender. And because he's a Super Bowl contender, oh my goodness, we're going to sit up there and say he can't measure up to expectations because my God, he can't measure up to expectations because people are saying that he's a Super Bowl contender. You actually participated in that discussion when, according to you, Tom Brady was done. Please, take it away, Dan.
How do you follow that? I mean, Max, you are going to the grave with that with Stephen A. when it comes to the Cliff thing. I mean, listen, Tom Brady's expectations, or the expectations surrounding Tom Brady, have been Hall of Fame caliber and championship caliber for the last 16 years. So obviously that is not going to change. I think everyone, this move automatically vaults Tampa Bay into the top 3 in the NFC conversation, along with the San Francisco 49ers, who, yes, they're still at the top. You still have to go chase down San Francisco, but it's San Francisco, it's Tampa, and it's New Orleans. And those are the 3 kind of at the top, cream of the crop teams. I've been outspoken. This is one of 3 moves that were necessary for Tampa. They still need a tackle, and whether they get one early in round 1 of the draft or trade for Trent Williams, and they still need a pass-catching tailback, someone like Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU is perfect. If they get those 2 moves by the end of this weekend, they're the 2nd best team in the NFC, and I expect them to. So the Hall of Fame expectations, everyone's going, man, Tom Brady's not the same guy he was a couple years ago, 5 years ago, and Gronk's not the same player he was 5 years ago. Maybe not, but I know this. This is the most talent that Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski have had together outside of them since Randy Moss. I mean, Gronk and Brady have not had a receiver outside of them like Mike Evans since Randy Moss. Add in Chris Godwin. I'm just telling you right now, defenses are going to sit there and go, what do we do? Because if we pay too much attention to one of the best receivers in the NFL in Mike Evans, or one of the better up-and-coming young receivers in the NFL in Chris Godwin, Gronk's going to eat us alive in the middle of the field. I mean, he's going to eat us alive. And I expect Bruce Arians to kind of use him a little bit as a kind of a flex tight end, more of a wide receiver than on the point tight end that we've traditionally seen Gronk. So, listen, they're going to ball. Rob Gronkowski's going to have 50 or 60 catches, and he's going to have 600-700 yards and 8+ touchdowns. And this offense is going to be really difficult to stop. So, Hall of Fame expectations of what? I'm telling you, by the end of this weekend, I expect them to be the 2nd best team in the NFC, and this was one of those moves necessary.
Well, as we speak about it as it relates to Tom Brady, Joe Montana would be Super Bowl favorite with this crew. And I don't mean back then, I mean now. Joe Montana could come out of retirement now behind all the guys you just mentioned.
You're
and by the way,
hater,
not that
dude.
hard to pick up a competent tackle and running back in the draft coming up. Like, they are so loaded that of course that the expectation should be high. And Stephen A., you talk about the cliff ravine, but when you're falling down from the heights that Tom Brady was taking guys like where his best receiver is Edelman, and he has Hogan and these guys, and he's having historical comebacks in the Super Bowl. But since then, even though he had a great performance against the Eagles in that game, the season as a whole was not what it was the year before. Last season was not what it was the year before that. He was 50. He had a 54 QBR, which is his worst total ever. Passing touchdowns, lowest since 06. Yards per attempt, lowest since 02. Completions percentage. In a league, by the way, where all these stats are going up and up and up because they keep protecting the quarterback and rules changes always follow the quarterback. Lowest since 2013. So when you are falling from the heights Tom Brady is falling, you're still okay on the way down. You're not. That's why when I said bum in short order, I came out the next day and apologized and explained what I meant. What it meant was just a guy. He did not play like an elite quarterback last year, and he needs this kind of help to compete.
I'm helping you out here. I'm helping you out here. Don't talk anymore because you were making points, and I want you to know you touched my heart. Because for the first 2 minutes of that long soliloquy, you didn't equivocate at all. You stuck to your position. You didn't bring up 8,000 points. You stuck to it. Tom Brady, listen, he's got weapons now. It's not about him. You stuck to your point. I'm so proud, Max. It brings tears to my eyes. I just want you to know right now, I'm touched that as weak as your argument is, that at least you stuck to it. It's just a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful moment, Dan. Excuse me, I'm getting emotional right now. I'm just getting emotional, okay? Because I'm not used to seeing him just stick to his point. I'm so touched. Thank you, Max.
It's like watching your kid grow up.
I'm proud of you, Max.
Dan.
I'm proud of you, Max. It's special. It's special.
Dan, we're just a big mess
I'm getting
on the
emotional
show.
right now. I'm getting
Oh my
emotional right now,
gosh.
Molly. Go to
Max
commercial.
standing by the courage of his convictions. By the way, earlier, Rex Ryan joined us and said this team matches up so well against the Niners and should be able to take them. Dan, you'll be back with us in just a bit. Stephen A. When we come back here on First Take, I can't wait for this. Arguably the best linebacker in the draft, Isaiah Simmons, national champion, a projected top 5